Paul Ludwig, Hans Anton von Benekendorf, und von Hindenburg, 1847–1934, was a Prussian-German military officer. Military service and Wars of German Unification. 18,661,871 complete tale of his military career. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more military, navy, and geopolitical updates. Austro-Prussian War, 1866 at 18. Hindenburg saw his first combat during the Austro-Prussian War. 7 Weeks War. He fought in the Battle of Tannenberg, July 3, 1866, a decisive Prussian victory. During the battle, he was wounded in the head by a bullet, but continued leading his men after bandaging the wound, earning a citation for bravery and the Order of the Red Eagle with crossed swords, an honor typically reserved for high officers. Franco-Prussian War, 1870–1871, Hindenburg participated in this war, which led to German unification. He fought in the Battle of Gravelotte St. Privat, August 18, 1870, and was involved in the Siege of Paris. His regiment's success at Sedan earned him the Iron Cross for bravery. On January 16, 1871, he represented his regiment at the proclamation of the German Empire at the Palace of Versailles, a significant honor career and rise through the ranks. 1871 to 1911 military education, from 1873 to 1876. Hindenburg attended the prestigious Kriegsakademie Prussian War Academy in Berlin, passing with high grades in 1877. This education enhanced his strategic and tactical knowledge, preparing him for higher command general staff service. In 1878, he was promoted to captain and assigned to the general staff of the 2nd Army Corps instead. In 1881, he was transferred to the 1st Division in Kingsburg, where he gained valuable knowledge of East Prussian topography, which later proved critical during World War I. In 1885, he was promoted to major and joined the Great General Staff in Berlin, also teaching war tactics at the Kriegsakademie for 5 years. Subsequent promotions and commands, 1888 to 1889, served in the War Ministry, contributing to field service regulations on field engineering and heavy artillery use. 1891, promoted to lieutenant colonel. 1893, promoted to colonel and commanded the 91st Infantry Regiment in Oldenburg. 1896, became a brigadier general, major general. 1900, promoted to major general and commanded the 28th Division in Karlsruhe. 1903, appointed lieutenant general and took command of the 4th Army Corps. In MAG, DEB, URG. 1905, promoted to general of the infantry, equivalent to a 3-star rank. His name was considered for chief of the general staff in 1906, but Helmuth von Moltke the Younger was chosen instead. Retirement, 1911, at age 64. Hindenburg retired from the army in 1911 after a 46-year career, described as honorable but undistinguished. He settled in Hanover, intending to live quietly on his Prussian estates. Some sources suggest his retirement may have been prompted by tensions with Kaiser Wilhelm II after Hindenburg's forces outperformed the Kaiser's in the 1908 imperial maneuvers. World War I, recalled to service and rise to fame 1914 to 1918 with the outbreak of World War I. Hindenburg was recalled on August 22, 1914, to command the 8th Army in East Prussia, where Russian forces were advancing. He was paired with Major General Erich Ludendorff as his chief of staff, forming a partnership that became legendary. Battle of Tannenberg, August 26 to 30th. 1914, Hindenburg and Ludendorff achieved a stunning victory against General Samson's Russian Second Army, encircling and destroying it. Hindenburg's knowledge of East Prussian terrain and Ludendorff's strategic planning were key. The victory saved East Prussia from Russian invasion, made Hindenburg a national hero, and earned him promotion to Colonel General on August 26, 1914, First Battle of the Masurian Lakes, September 1914. Hindenburg repositioned the 8th Army to face General Rennenkampf's Russian First Army, using Schwerpunkt to drive the Russians back 100 kilometers with heavy losses. Over 6 weeks, the Russians lost over 310,000 men, and 800,000 East Prussian refugees returned home. These victories contrasted sharply with the Western Front's stalemate after the Schlieffen-Plan's failure. Eastern Front Command, November 1914, promoted to Field Marshal and appointed Commander-in-Chief of the Eastern Front. Hindenburg oversaw operations in Poland and Lithuania from 1914 to 1916. His campaigns, including victories at the Second Battle of the Masurian Lakes, 1915, weakened Russian forces significantly. Chief of the General Staff. August 1916, replacing Erich von Falkenhayn, whose Western Front failure resedged his reputation. Hindenburg became Chief of the Great General Staff, with Ludendorff as his deputy. They established a de facto military dictatorship, controlling military, economic, and foreign policy. The Hindenburg program mobilized Germany's economy for total war. Though it raised expectations more than production, Hindenburg adopted a defensive strategy in the West, constructing the Hindenburg Line, a fortified complex to conserve resource post-military involvement, 1918 to 1919, after the Armistice of Compiègne. Hindenburg directed the orderly withdrawal of German forces from France and Belgium and organized the suppression of left-wing uprisings in Germany, preserving the officer corps. He retired again in June 1919. Hindenburg's military career was marked by steady progression through the Prussian system, with significant achievements during the wars of German unification and World War I. His victories at Tannenberg and the Masurian Lakes were pivotal, but his reliance on Ludendorff and the collective nature of decision-making have led historians to question his strategic genius. His promotion of the stab-in-the-back myth and his later political decisions cast a complex shadow over his military legacy. While he was celebrated as a national hero, his role as a figurehead and his inability to counter radical political movements in the 1930s highlight the limitations of his leadership. Paul von Hindenburg died on August 2, 1934. At his family estate in Neudeck, East Prussia, at the age of 86. Below are the details surrounding his death. Cause of death: Hindenburg died of lung cancer, which had likely been exacerbated by his advanced age and declining health. Some sources suggest he may have also suffered from it. Forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more military, navy, and geopolitical updates.